Hello everyone. This lecture is about regulation of respiration. Human beings have a significant ability to moderate the respiratory rhythm according to the demands of the body tissues. So this regulation is done by neural systems. So how exactly this is done, right? So before going to this, I'll just demonstrate these diagrams, just basic diagrams you have to remember. So then the process becomes very simple. So this is your thoracic or chest cavity. The thoracic or chest cavity is lined on the ventral side by sternum. This is sternum on the ventral side, which is called the breastbone. These are ribs. So this is the interesting part here. These are the ribs. And this is your diaphragm. This is diaphragm. Clear? So inside this chest cavity, chest cavity is lined on the ventral side by sternum, on the dorsal side by vertebral column, laterally by ribs, and posteriorly by diaphragm. Fine. Now here, so to make it very clear, in between the two ribs there are muscles. So here this, in red color, remember these are external intercostal muscles. External intercostal muscles, just which are in red in color, just remember they're external intercostal muscles, right? So I just short form I'll write external intercostal muscles. Remember those which are in green color, those are internal intercostal muscles. Just remember ribs are bounded by muscles which are external intercostal muscles as well as internal intercostal muscles. So here your red is external intercostal muscles and green is internal intercostal muscles. Diaphragm is also lined by muscles which are called phrenic muscles of the diaphragm. These are phrenic muscles, right? Fine. Now, so how exactly these neural systems regulate the process of breathing? There are two centers. One of the center is located in the medulla of the brain. So this is the brain from the lateral side. This is all cerebrum. This is corpus callosum. We are not going in detail about the brain. So in some other lecture, we'll talk about the brain. So this part of the brain, this is called pons. This part of the brain is pons, right? And this is medulla. Medulla oblongata, right? So these are the parts of the brain stem. Fine. These are involved in regulation of the respiration. So that's what we are concentrating mainly on, these two parts. This is pons, remember, and this is medulla oblongata, continues as spinal cord. Fine. Now, these breathing movements are regulated by centers located in the medulla as well as centers located in the pons. So first, we talk about the centers located in the medulla. So neural or respiratory centers of medulla. Respiratory centers of medulla, right? So the respiratory centers located in the medulla is called respiratory rhythm center. Remember, this is called the respiratory rhythm center. Respiratory rhythm center is located in the medulla, and this is for normal basic rhythm. The normal basic rhythm is controlled by your respiratory rhythm center, right? So which is located in the medulla. It has two groups of neurons. Let us find out what are they. So one is called, the first one, this is called DRG, and this is called VRG. Fine. This is DRG and VRG. What are they? Your respiratory rhythm center of medulla is with dorsal respiratory group, right? What I am calling it as DRG. What is this? This DRG is responsible for normal rhythm which has inspiratory signal controller, right? It is responsible for this DRG. This DRG send a signal to your normal respiration for breathing. What are these muscles? These muscles are your external intercostal muscles. Your DRG send a signal to respiratory muscles called external intercostal muscles, as well as DRG send a signal to your phrenic muscles of the diaphragm that makes your normal inspiration to occur at the rate of 12 to 16 breaths per minute. So this rhythm, your normal respiratory rhythm, is controlled by your DRG, which is dorsal respiratory group. It sends the signal to your external intercostal muscles as well as phrenic muscles, where the contraction of this makes the volume of the thoracic cavity to increase, and so that the normal respiration takes place with 12 to 16 breaths per minute. When once it stops, expiration occurs passively. So because it is not controlled, automatically when DRG stops, so passively expiration takes place. Right. Next, one more component of it is VRG. This is ventral respiratory group. Ventral respiratory group is VRG. Look, what is its function? Ventral respiratory group or VRG is with both inspiratory and expiratory centers. Fine. What is this? Your ventral respiratory group is responsible for forceful expiration. Forceful expiration. How this is done? VRG, just look here. This is VRG, which is present on the ventral side. VRG send a signal to internal intercostal muscles. Remember, your VRG send a signal to internal intercostal muscles. Internal intercostal muscles contract, which may result in forceful expiration. That means which becomes an active process. Normal expiration is a passive process, but whereas forceful expiration is an active process which involves the contraction of internal intercostal muscles. So when do we do a forceful expiration? For an example, if you go to a doctor is examining your chest. By the time you are allowed to breathe forcibly, breathe in and breathe out forcibly. This forcible expiration involves the contraction of internal intercostal muscles. For that, the signal is sent by your ventral respiratory group. Fine. So your normal respiratory rhythm is controlled by the centers located in the medulla of the brain. One is DRG, one is VRG. So remember, DRG is with inspiratory centers and VRG is with both inspiratory and as well as expiratory center. So here expiratory center is forceful expiration because the normal expiration is a passive process, right? Next, there are certain times where our rate of breathing increase or decrease. During this time, when a rate of breathing increase or decrease, this is controlled by the respiratory centers located in the pons, right? So the next we talk about the centers which are located in the pons, right? Respiratory centers of pons. What are they? The respiratory centers located in the pons moderate the breathing. They moderate the respiratory rhythm center. Fine. Your pons has, respiratory centers which can moderate the respiratory rhythm center, right? So how this is done? Your pons has two groups or two locations which moderate the respiratory rhythm center. Those includes, number one, this is called apneustic center. What do you call it? Apneustic center. What is this called? Apneustic center. What is the function of apneustic center? Apneustic center will moderate or stimulate your respiratory rhythm center. It gives a positive signal to the respiratory rhythm center so that the breathing rate can increase. To increase the breathing rate, your apneustic center give a positive signal to your respiratory rhythm center. In case you need to have more breaths, right? So by the time your breathing rate has to be increased. So this breathing rate, to increase this breathing rate, your positive feedback or signal is given by apneustic center. Fine. How long we breathe? How much we breathe? So sometimes if the rate of breathing exceeds to a greater extent, there is a chance that your lungs may get collapsed. But your thoracic cavity or chest cavity or the lungs must be protected, and this is done by one more center which is located in the pons, which is called pneumataxic center, right? So what is the role of pneumataxic center? The role of pneumataxic center is to limit the respiration. It will limit the respiration. It gives a negative feedback so that allow the process of normal expiration to takes place, because your pneumotoxic center is to limit the respiration, right? And so it is called respiratory switch off point, right? So your pons has two centers. One is called apneustic center, right? Apneustic center will increase the breathing rate, right? The second is called pneumataxic center, and this pneumataxic center limits the respiration, which is called respiratory switch off point. Fine. So these are the regulatory centers located in the brain, right? So one of the regulatory center is called respiratory rhythm center, which will regulate the normal respiratory rhythm, which is present in the medulla. It has two centers or two functional divisions. One is DRG and VRG. So remember, DRG will give a positive signal to the red vessels, which are nothing but external intercostal muscles as well as phrenic muscles. So normal breathing will be continued. Fine. Your VRG is responsible for forceful expiration by giving a signal to internal intercostal muscles. Then every time your breathing is not normal, there are certain times where the rate of breathing will increase or decrease, and this is under the control of pons, right? So pons is to moderate. It has a respiratory centers which can moderate the respiratory rhythm center, which includes two groups. One is apneustic center will give a positive feedback to the respiratory rhythm center to increase the rate of breathing. So how long the breathing rate has to be increased? So this is to limit the process of respiration. Your pneumotoxic center give a negative feedback to the respiratory rhythm center, so which is called the respiratory switch off point. Clear? Apart from this, do we have any other components? Yes, we have certain chemoreceptors, right? So chemoreceptors also regulate the respiratory rhythm or respiratory, regulation of the respiration is done even by the chemoreceptors. So look, we have two types of chemoreceptors. The third component. So we have some chemoreceptors, right, which also regulate the rhythm. Those chemoreceptors are, number one, peripheral chemoreceptors, right? Second, we call them as central chemoreceptors, right? So we talk about these two, peripheral chemoreceptors as well as central chemoreceptors. Peripheral chemoreceptors as well as central chemoreceptors. Fine. We find out what are these peripheral chemoreceptors. Peripheral chemoreceptors are those which are present in the larger arteries. Look, this is heart, and this part of the heart is your aortic arch. Right? And these are your carotid arches, right? Your peripheral receptors includes, peripheral receptors are located in the aortic arches as well as carotid arches. Let us find out what are this. Listen, in the aortic arches, the chemoreceptors are located, which are called as aortic bodies. At the same way, these are carotid arches. There are chemoreceptors are present here, which are called carotid bodies. So clear? So your peripheral receptors includes aortic bodies that are present in the aortic arches and carotid bodies present in the carotid arteries. So these are the peripheral chemoreceptors. Look, what is their function? These peripheral chemoreceptors detect the partial pressure of carbon dioxide, partial pressure of oxygen, and H+ ion concentration. If the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is very high, so the meaning is that the oxygen levels are very less, and then H+ ion levels increase, this causes acidosis because the blood keeps moving into the aortic arches. So the receptors will detect the partial pressures of oxygen, carbon dioxide, and H+ ions. In case if the partial pressure of carbon dioxide levels are very high, then these aortic bodies as well as carotid bodies give a signal to the respiratory centers of the brain to increase the rate of inspiration. That means there is an oxygen demand in the bodies, the respiratory rate will be increased by them. So these are the peripheral chemoreceptors. Now, apart from this, we have central chemoreceptors, right? Name itself indicates that the central chemoreceptors are located in the central nervous system, right? Nothing but the central chemoreceptors are located in the medulla. Remember, central chemoreceptors are present in the medulla. The central chemoreceptors present in the medulla detects the partial pressures of carbon dioxide and H+. The question comes, why only carbon dioxide? Because remember, carbon dioxide is the only one which can cross the blood-brain barriers and can enter into cerebrospinal fluid. So when once it enters there, once again the carbon dioxide combines with water and form carbonic acid, which dissociates into H+ and bicarbonate ions. These will be detected by the chemoreceptors present in the medulla. We call them as central chemoreceptors and give a signal to your receptors located in the brain, respiratory rhythm center, and so that they can alter the rate of respiration. So clear? Like this. So we have like certain centers located in the brain. We call them as the regulatory centers present in the medulla, which is the main primary rhythm center is in the medulla. Then we have like receptors locate, regulatory centers in the pons, which will moderate the respiratory rhythm center. And then, so we have some chemoreceptors like peripheral chemoreceptors and central chemoreceptors also detect the circulating levels of oxygen and carbon dioxide and H+ ions, and they will alter the rate of respiration. So clear? Hope everybody understood this topic, right? So in the next we'll come with some other new topic, right? And please subscribe to my channel, right? And you press the bell icon so that you get notifications whenever I post a new video. Thank you.